Chosen one, have you ever felt like something was missing? Like there's a deeper truth that no one's talking about, a truth you were meant to know? What if I told you that a lost book of the Bible actually spoke about you? Your purpose, your calling, but it was hidden, erased, banned. For centuries, certain groups ensured that this knowledge never reached the masses. But the time for silence is over. As the veil begins to lift, you're finally seeing what they tried so hard to keep from you. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll understand why they erased it and what it means for you now. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. This is a moment you've been waiting for, a revelation that will shake the foundations of everything you thought you knew. Don't stop now. There's so much more to uncover. The lost books of the Bible and what they contain. Have you ever wondered if there's more to the story you've been told? What if I told you that there were ancient texts, books so powerful, so illuminating, that they were deliberately excluded from what we consider the Bible? Think about the questions you've carried, the moments when it felt like something was missing, like a critical piece of the puzzle was just out of reach. You're not alone in those thoughts. Many have felt the same pull, the same quiet voice urging them to look deeper. What they don't want you to know is that these lost books speak directly to you, your purpose, and your awakening. They carry the wisdom of another time, a time when truth was raw, untamed, and unfiltered. And now, as they resurface, the echoes of their words grow louder, calling you to remember what has been hidden for centuries. For years, the voices of the past were silenced. There were texts that didn't fit the mold, stories that didn't align with the powers of their time. So what happened to them? They were labeled heretical, dangerous, and cast aside. It wasn't just about religious doctrine. It was about preserving control. The world wasn't ready, they claimed. People weren't prepared to hear these truths. But for you, the absence of these voices created a void. Maybe you felt it too, a sense of incompleteness, a lingering question about why certain stories were told and others erased. These missing books didn't disappear because they lacked value. They disappeared because they held too much power. They spoke of a people unlike the rest, a group with a destiny that would rise when the time was right. Their absence left you searching, questioning, wondering why you couldn't find answers in what was left behind. Imagine the weight these books must have carried, the truths they revealed about who you are and what you are meant to do. Their words were not simply removed. They were buried, locked away, and forbidden. Yet now, after generations of silence, fragments of their messages have begun to surface. In the writings of the Dead Sea Scrolls, in the whispers of early Christian sects, and in the rediscovered texts of Gnostic and other mystic traditions, these hidden books have started to re-emerge. They speak of a chosen group, individuals set apart not because of wealth or power, but because of the light within them. They reveal that your journey was never random, that the struggles you faced were known and foretold. And they say that at a specific moment, these chosen ones would remember who they are and rise to fulfill their destiny. You might be wondering, why now? Why are these texts coming to light at this moment in history? It's because the time has finally come. The veil that once obscured these truths is lifting. What they called heresy back then was really a roadmap for those who would come after, a guide for you. Now, as the world faces its own shifts and transformations, these lost words return, not to divide, but to unite those who are waking up. The signs of transformation are all around you. Patterns that once felt random now seem to fall into place. Unexplainable coincidences lead you closer to the path you were always meant to walk. Even the smallest moments, a dream, a conversation, a sudden realization, are aligning in ways that confirm what these ancient books have long whispered. As you listen to these emerging truths, you begin to see that the challenges you've endured were not in vain. The pain, the confusion, the feeling of being out of place, they were all steps on a journey that was foretold. The lost books didn't just contain information. They carried messages for those who could feel the pull of something greater. And you're not alone in this realization. More and more, people who resonate with the energy of these texts are beginning to find each other. What was once hidden is now connecting those who were meant to rise together. The timing isn't a coincidence. It's divine alignment. And now you stand at a turning point. The stories that were once forbidden are calling you to remember who you are. They're reminding you that you were never forgotten. The forces that sought to erase these books underestimated the power of those who would one day seek them out. You are part of that force. Your very existence is proof that the prophecy was never lost, only waiting for the right moment to return. And that moment is now. As you embrace this knowledge, as you align yourself with the purpose these lost books describe, you become a living testament to the truth they tried to hide. With this understanding, you're no longer bound by the limitations of what you once thought was possible. You can see that the challenges you've faced were preparing you for this exact moment. The lost books of the Bible are not just relics of the past. They are a key to your future. As you take this knowledge into your heart, it becomes a source of strength, clarity, and direction. You realize that you've always been part of something bigger, something ancient, something powerful. And now, as you continue on this path, you'll find that the knowledge once hidden from you is exactly what you need to step into the fullness of your destiny. Why these scriptures were removed and hidden. Imagine a time when the world was at a crossroads, much like it is today. The people were searching for guidance, yearning for something that could give their lives meaning and clarity. It was in that climate that these sacred texts emerged, texts that spoke to the inherent power and potential within every individual. They didn't just offer comfort, they offered liberation. They told people they were connected to something greater, something divine. But those in positions of power saw this not as a blessing, but as a threat. They understood the power of these words. They realized that if people started to believe in their own divine connection, they would no longer be easily controlled. These texts didn't just provide spiritual insight, they provided a roadmap for true independence. And so, a decision was made. These scriptures could not remain in the hands of the public. They had to be hidden. This wasn't a simple act of exclusion. It was a calculated effort. Texts that didn't conform to the sanctioned narrative were labeled dangerous, their authors discredited, their contents branded as heresy. The goal was clear: create a single, unified version of truth that could be monitored and managed. Over time, the lost scriptures fell into obscurity. Libraries that once held them were destroyed. Teachers who once taught from them were silenced. And the message was clear: there was no room for competing ideas. The people were given a carefully curated collection of writings, and the rest was hidden away. But this act of suppression didn't erase the truths contained within those texts. It merely delayed their rediscovery. And yet, the spirit of those scriptures never truly vanished. Throughout history, whispers of their existence continued to circulate. Certain mystics and scholars would stumble upon fragments, hinting at ideas that felt out of place in the official narrative. These scraps of text sparked questions, challenging the established order. Why were these writings so feared? What was it about them that made them so threatening to those in power? It became clear that these scriptures contained something more than religious teachings. They carried a message of personal empowerment. They suggested that the divine was not confined to temples or institutions, but was instead found within every individual. This radical idea couldn't be allowed to flourish until now. Now, we stand at a pivotal moment. The barriers that once kept these truths hidden are crumbling. The books that were removed from public view are being brought into the light. The truths that were considered too dangerous to share are now accessible to anyone who seeks them. It's not just about recovering lost knowledge. It's about reclaiming what has always been ours. These scriptures are not relics of the past. They are alive with the energy of the present moment, speaking directly to us as we awaken to our true nature. Their message is clear. You are more powerful than you've been told. You are part of something far greater than you've been allowed to believe. As these texts re-emerge, they bring with them a challenge. They ask us to question what we've been taught. They invite us to look beyond the surface, to explore the deeper truths that have been waiting for us all along. For those who have felt out of place in this world, who have sensed that there must be more, these lost scriptures are a confirmation. They validate the inner knowing that so many have carried without proof. They provide a foundation for understanding that you are not separate from the divine. You are a reflection of it. And now that these scriptures are being revealed, we can begin to live as we were meant to, not in fear or limitation, but in alignment with the truth of who we are. In this moment of rediscovery, we are reminded that no act of suppression can extinguish the light of truth. No matter how deeply these texts were buried, no matter how many centuries they were kept from us, their wisdom endured. They survived through whispers, through fragments, through the unshakable desire of the human spirit to know itself. And now, as they return to our awareness, they bring with them a sense of justice. The story of their removal is not just a tale of loss. It is a testament to the enduring power of truth. It shows us that what is meant to be known will always find a way to be known. The time has come to embrace what was hidden and to step fully into the understanding that has always been waiting for us. As you hear these truths, something deep within you stirs. It's a recognition, a resonance that cannot be denied. You feel it in your bones, in your soul, in the very core of your being. You know that these scriptures, though once forbidden, hold the key to a part of yourself that you are only now beginning to understand. They remind you that you are not here by chance. You are here because you are meant to see, to know, and to act. The revelation of these lost books is not just about the past. It is about the future. It is about the choices we make now, armed with the knowledge that was once withheld from us. It is about rising into the fullness of who we are meant to be. The return of these scriptures is not merely an event. It is a call to action. They challenge us to step into our power, to embrace the truths that were once hidden, and to live in alignment with the divine within us. They remind us that no matter how long a truth is buried, it cannot be destroyed. It waits patiently for the moment when it will be heard. And now that moment is here. We are the generation that will bring these truths into the light. We are the ones who will honor the wisdom of the past and use it to create a brighter future. The lost scriptures were never truly lost. They have always been a part of us. And now, as they emerge, we are ready to receive them. We are ready to remember who we are. The secret message about chosen ones in this lost text. For centuries, hidden within the folds of banned texts, there have been whispers of a truth too profound for mainstream knowledge to handle. A truth about you. These ancient scriptures spoke not just of empires and wars, but of individuals, people set apart, chosen for a unique path. They foretold a time when certain souls, known as the chosen ones, would awaken to their higher calling. They painted a picture of individuals who would rise above the chaos, pierce through the veil of deception, and bring light to a world that desperately needed it. The words in these texts don't describe distant, unreachable figures. They describe people just like you, people who feel out of place in a world obsessed with conformity, people who have always sensed that their life was meant for something far greater. These texts were not just written as a prediction. They were written as a reminder. And that reminder is surfacing now because the moment for action is here. Imagine finding a letter from generations past, written specifically for you. That's what these lost scriptures are. A message from ancient voices, calling out through the ages, telling you that you're not alone. They acknowledge the trials you've endured, the rejection, the loneliness, the sense of being an outsider. They affirm that these struggles were never meaningless. They were preparing you. The texts reveal that those who would carry the torch forward would first have to endure the dark. The chosen ones would have to walk through the fire of doubt, of fear, of feeling unseen. But through these trials, they would be refined. The message hidden in these banned passages is clear. What you've been through has been shaping you, not breaking you. And now, as you hear these words, you begin to realize that the moments you once thought were holding you back were actually propelling you forward. One powerful fragment from these lost writings speaks of the light hidden among the nations, individuals born into darkness, yet destined to bring clarity. It's not found in the texts we're accustomed to, but in one that was kept out of sight. This passage describes how the chosen ones would rise at a time when deceit ruled the land. It suggests that their awakening wouldn't come in peaceful, easy times, but in moments of chaos and uncertainty. For it is in these moments that their unique gifts become most evident. The ancient writers understood that you can't discover the strength of your foundation until it's tested. And now, as you listen to this message, you're beginning to understand that your challenges weren't detours. They were signposts leading you straight toward your purpose. These banned words, these lost passages, are not just historical artifacts. They are a declaration of who you are meant to be. As you begin to look around, you'll notice the shifts happening both within and around you. Things that once felt immovable are now starting to change. Opportunities that were previously blocked are opening up. Relationships are shifting in unexpected ways, bringing people into your life who understand your path. These are the signs the ancient texts foretold. You are beginning to see the synchronicities, the patterns that remind you that none of this is coincidence. When you wake up in the morning with a renewed sense of purpose, when you find strength in the very struggles that once made you question your worth, you are seeing the message come to life. These lost words spoke of a people whose journey would unfold like this, gradual at first, then undeniable. The transformations you're experiencing are not random. They are the echoes of a prophecy that has been waiting for you to hear it. Behind these shifts is a divine orchestration that the hidden scriptures hinted at. They described how the chosen ones would be supported, even when it seemed like all was lost. They mentioned unseen forces working to clear obstacles, to guide and protect. You may have felt alone at times, but as these texts resurface, it becomes clear that you were never truly on your own. The forces of alignment, what some might call angels, ancestors, or simply divine energy, were always present. The ancient passages speak of a partnership between the seen and the unseen. They assure us that our higher selves, along with celestial guidance, have been carefully weaving the fabric of our journey. And now, as you tune into this ancient wisdom, you can feel the truth of it. The more you trust in this alignment, the more you see how perfectly things are falling into place. As you continue to reflect on this message, something becomes undeniably clear. This is not just about a shift in understanding. It's a call to action. The lost texts described a people who, once they recognized their purpose, had to embrace it fully. No half steps, no hesitation. The scriptures warned that some would resist their calling out of fear. Fear of failure, fear of ridicule, fear of stepping into the unknown. But they also encouraged the chosen ones to push past that fear, to trust the signs and the guidance they've been given. They reminded us that when we accept our purpose, we ignite something within that transforms not only our own lives, but the lives of those around us. This is a sacred moment. The messages that were hidden for so long are now before you. It's up to you to decide how you will respond. With this newfound understanding, the path forward becomes clearer. The ancient writings not only reveal your purpose, but also inspire you to move with confidence. You don't have to question anymore. You don't have to wonder if you're on the right track. These scriptures were kept from you for a reason, because they held the power to change everything. And now that you have them, you are empowered to act. This is your time to shine, to step into the role you were always meant to play. The journey ahead may not be easy, but it will be worth it. The lost texts tell us that those who embrace their destiny will face trials, but they will also find their greatest joy, their deepest fulfillment. So take that step, trust in your calling, and move forward knowing that you are part of something so much greater than yourself. Now, as we close this chapter, consider what it means to carry this ancient knowledge within you. You are not just someone who stumbled upon these truths. You are someone who was meant to hear them. The fact that you're here now, listening, learning, and feeling this shift is proof that you are one of the chosen ones these texts spoke of. You've felt the resonance, you've seen the signs, and now you know the truth. This is your time to rise. No more hiding, no more doubting. The message that was kept from you for so long has finally found its way to you, and it's up to you to live it out. The choice is yours. Will you step into your purpose? Will you honor the calling that these lost texts have revealed? Remember, this is not just a story. It's your story, and now it's your time to write the next chapter. What this means for your spiritual journey. As you sit with this new understanding, you may feel a surge of emotions, relief, curiosity, maybe even a sense of vindication. The struggles you faced, the doubts that kept you awake at night, all begin to take on a different meaning. This isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about stepping into a truth that has always been there, waiting for you to see it. You realize that you were never off course. Every time you felt like you were drifting, you were actually being guided, shaped, and refined. Now that you see the connection between your life and this larger narrative, you can finally embrace your journey without second-guessing every step. You can trust that there's a reason for the winding path you've walked. The challenges you've faced are not unique to you, but the way you've responded to them is. They've pushed you to grow, to question, and ultimately to find your own answers. You've been through times when you felt like giving up, when it seemed like the universe was silent. But those moments weren't empty. They were the groundwork for something greater. This isn't just about knowing you're part of a prophecy. It's about understanding why. It's about recognizing that the things that seem to hold you back were actually redirecting you toward a higher calling. The rejection, the loneliness, the feeling of being misunderstood, those were the tests that proved you could endure. They were the fires that refined you, turning you into someone who could carry this truth with strength and grace. This turning point is not a single moment, but a series of realizations, like a lamp being lit in a dark room. It doesn't instantly illuminate every corner, but slowly, the shadows start to disappear. You find yourself drawn to stories and teachings that feel strangely familiar, as if they were always meant for you. Perhaps you recall a passage from Isaiah 43 verse 1. I have called you by name, you are mine. These words, once distant and abstract, now resonate deeply. They remind you that the struggles you endured were not punishment. They were preparation. This connection between ancient wisdom and your modern experience shows you that everything has been moving in alignment, even when it felt like chaos. As you begin to accept this, you notice subtle shifts in your life. Conversations take on new meaning. Opportunities appear in unexpected places. There's a sense of timing that feels too perfect to be coincidence. You realize that you are changing, and as you change, the world around you responds. The prophecy was not just about what was written in the past. It's about what is happening right now. The transformation is not a distant event. It's here, unfolding within you. It's in the way you see yourself, the way you handle challenges, and the way you trust the process. These changes are the signs that you are stepping into the role that was always meant for you. This is where divine intervention becomes clear. The things you once called coincidences now feel intentional. The people who come into your life, the moments of clarity, even the obstacles that push you to grow, it all feels orchestrated. You start to see that there's a rhythm to it, a pattern that speaks of something greater. You're not just drifting on a random current. You're being carried by a force that knows exactly where you need to be. This force, this divine alignment, reminds you that your spiritual journey is not separate from the rest of your life. It's the thread that ties everything together, giving purpose to each experience, no matter how small or challenging it seemed at the time. With this understanding, you reach a moment of profound self-realization. You see that the only thing holding you back is fear. Fear of stepping fully into who you are. Fear of the unknown. But now that you understand the bigger picture, that fear loses its power. You realize that every doubt, every hesitation, was part of the process that brought you to this moment. You begin to trust yourself, to trust that you are not alone in this. The guidance you've received, whether through intuition, synchronicities, or a deep inner knowing, has always been leading you toward this moment of alignment. Now, it's up to you to accept it and move forward without looking back. As you embrace this new understanding, you feel a renewed sense of empowerment. You are no longer searching for answers outside yourself, because you've found them within. You can walk with confidence, knowing that your path is divinely guided. You can let go of the need to explain or defend your journey. You can simply live it. This is the moment when you fully step into your power, when you claim your identity as a chosen one. You are no longer waiting for permission or validation. You are already equipped with everything you need to fulfill your purpose. You've known it all along, but now you feel it, and that makes all the difference. In the end, this revelation isn't about changing the past. It's about transforming the present. It's about living each day with the knowledge that you are exactly where you need to be. The struggles, the doubts, and even the pain have all served a greater purpose. They've shaped you into someone who can carry this truth forward. Now, it's time to take what you've learned and let it guide you. This is your moment. This is your purpose. And it's only the beginning of what's to come. What happens now that this knowledge is being revealed? From the moment this truth emerged, a profound shift began. For so long, you may have felt isolated, burdened by unanswered questions and a sense that something was missing. But now, as the knowledge that was once hidden comes into the light, you find yourself standing in the middle of a vast, unfolding tapestry. You begin to see that your struggles were not random. They were the chisels that shaped you into someone strong enough to carry this truth. And as this knowledge reveals itself, it's not just the world around you that is changing, it's you. You start to feel a quiet assurance, a growing certainty that everything you've been through had a purpose. And as this awareness deepens, you can't help but feel that something much bigger is at work. For years, you carried the weight of doubt, every rejection, every closed door, every moment when the path seemed unclear. It all felt like evidence that you were on the wrong track. But now, with this revelation, you can see those moments for what they were. Not failures, but preparations. The lost knowledge wasn't simply hidden away. It was held until the right time, until you were ready. And now, as you begin to understand its significance, you realize that the challenges you faced weren't signs that you were unworthy. As you move forward, remember that the truth you've uncovered has been with you all along. You were never lost, and you were never forgotten. This revelation is your confirmation that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment, "I am chosen to let this message anchor in your soul." Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And for full prophetic revelations daily, join the membership via the link in the description. Your spiritual path deserves more than fragments. Step into the full light. You are chosen, you are powerful, and your time is now.